Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today our 1 vs 1 on Kholodny Ferma once more, this time though in the springtime. Yes indeed, it's springtime for someone. We shall be watching a Warboss fighting for the Reich, fighting for the 44th Infantry Division. Oh, hang on, they fought in Italy. Yes, slight problem there instead. It's the 100th Jäger Division. Opposing him shall be EC of the Soviet Union of the 13th Rifle Division. Conscripts already on the way there, centre move, whereas we do note the Warboss is heading south, and of course the Infantry Company already up, Grenadiers on the way. Point here being secured, troops heading northwards, centrewards, and some other words as well. And there we go, the first Grenadier squad arrives on the field. Hurrah and huzzah. MG42 on the way second. Not unusual to see that. Either it's that or two Grenadiers, then an MG, or perhaps, you know, the MG first if you're feeling a bit daring, a bit risky, a bit bold. And we are noting here that Easy is in fact heading towards the north, going towards the fuel point closest to him initially, and then of course sending the conscripts up to support that. Perhaps acting a bit of screening troops as well, a bit of harassment. Second squad of conscripts also looks to be heading in that same direction. Whereas Warboss is actually spreading out a bit more, interestingly enough, by the looks of it. MG42 crew arrives with their heavy machine and gewehr. Conscripts moving northwards, points being secured here, there and everywhere. But looks like Warboss is now shifting towards the south, interestingly enough. A bit of quiet. Units heading over there. Nothing really to deeply comment on as of yet. Third conscript squad there, so at least getting some conscripts. No buildings as of yet. Both players going for each part of their map. One south, the other north. Interesting. And our second squad of Grenadiers arrives right there for Warboss. And there we go. Already the north has largely been secured by the Soviets, whereas the south is not really near as far with the Germans. So of course already, and there we go, we are seeing Easy now going in for what he feels perhaps is an EC kill. EC securing of territory, pushing hard for the cut-off points, which are currently completely unguarded. Warboss has left his flank open, expecting the front line to be right here in the south, and now he has to fight for his cut-off point. That's definitely going to be a bit dangerous. He will need to shift the MG42 back, but he's still going to keep one Grenadier squad pushing up there. That is definitely also risky. Second MG42 crew on the way. Grenadiers here not in a good position. They're going to get caught out in the open by two squads firing crossfire. Good lord. MG42 though sets up and opens up the conscripts, but there's also the chance of these conscripts moving in and flanking now, since of course the front line here has now been weakened. Grenadiers are nearby, and yes indeed the conscripts are going to see if they can't hit the flank of the MG42. This could be very, very bad news for Warboss. He's already losing most of his territory. And there we go, the conscripts are moving in. Will they have Molotovs? Or what will they have besides MP40 bullets in their stomachs? And there we go, the MG42 crew is being forced to shift around. Other one is moving up, Grenadiers also ready. And getting into the small shack, this could prove to be very dangerous, in particular since all they need to do is get up here where there are no windows. Again, that's pretty much the weakness of this shack. If you get up to the part where there are no windows, of course they can't do anything. But apparently, Easy's making a slight mistake. He's in fact retaining it right in front of the one with the windows, and point blank even. This is awful, this is not good. Easy definitely fumbled it right there. Veterans one for the MG42, but now on the other side, and hang on, there's actually a small window there. Guten Tag, meine Herren. And now ooh-rahing about, trying to get away, realizing this is not a happy situation. And does barely manage to succeed with an ooh-rah. And not the marine kind, as I do for some reason see some people go on about. Other people, you know, do have the right to go them. People who were there before the Marines. Good lord. Points there being secured. Taking up down there for Mr. Warboss. Of the 100th Jäger Division. A light infantry division meant for attacking, less so for defending. I do believe they were also slightly motorized. So little fun fact there. Little fun fact there. Moving up there, and we're seeing a special rifle command has appeared for easy, getting a sniper team, a pair of lovely ladies, except you're German, in which case you're probably not going to be a huge fan of them. And there we go, Grenadiers opening up, getting shot at, to be honest. We're also noting here that Warboss has been pretty aggressive, actually laying down a Tellermine right there, much to my surprise, protecting the cutoff point right there with an MG42 number 2. That is good. Interestingly enough, we're noting that there seems to be no mines from EC on return. In fact, munitions going towards flamethrowers. Flammenwerfer. Flameski, Flurski, I don't know, I'm not sure how to say that in Russian. Conscripts are advancing straight into the other MG42, which is already Veterans U1. That is decent news. Less decent news is, of course, the sniper firing away, causing a retreat, and in fact Warboss to abandon the southern half of the map. Conscripts also moving up there, and we are noting the ever lethal scout car. We're going to see a flamethrower crew in it. It's going to be nasty. And a squad of Panzer Grenadier arriving there for Warboss to support his efforts.
You need fire support? We have been assigned fresh Panzer Grenadiers.
Finally seeing some units being detached towards the north to sort of draw out some forces from Warboss there. Of course, he should be careful though again, since they could also risk being hammered hard down. Flare up, so taking no chances there. Checking to see if there are any fascists hiding along the road. And there we go. And there we go as well. But now they did linger about a bit too much and found themselves under fire. And there we go. Mining up the northern approach. Warboss is quite fond of tiller mines and mining up. That's good. Less good though was they got spotted by the scout car. The noose is once more tightening around Warboss's neck. He needs to do something to break out of this. Panzer Grenadiers is definitely going to be one partner helping this, and looks like a scout car arriving, the Leichte Panzer Spähwagen. One of many reconnaissance vehicles the Germans used throughout the war. Different variants, some based on cars, some based on half-tracks, and some based on tanks. There goes scout car rushing in, but getting caught while going in for the one MG42, getting caught by the other. Might get Panzerfaust right here. Will Warboss be able to get off the Panzerfaust? Oh no, it looks like he's getting away with it. Oh dear, oh dear. That was a missed opportunity right there for Warboss. And meanwhile, Panzer Grenadiers engaging the conscripts down south. Conscripts are getting torn up by the Sturmgewehrs. And the scout car arrives as well, revealing its presence, thus ruining the potential surprise. Looks like he's not upgrading it. That's good. Snipers here though need to be careful, and there we go, coming under fire already. The light machine gun threatening to end their lives, and there we go, rushing up with the conscripts. Could have been a bluff, but either way, we do see that Warboss is pulling away his scout car. And of course, sometimes a good bluff is all you need. In particular, since the scout car really can't afford to get hit by an anti-tank grenade. There we go, opening up in the scout car again. Need to be careful that the 50 caliber can do a bit of nasty damage there to the German scout car, the Sonderkraftfahrzeug 229. And already down to half health. Definitely force that bugger away. Heading in to secure the south. Warboss is holding on for now.
Grenadiers reporting objective capture.
And the mechanized armor Campanier, no huge surprises there. And already again, scout car gets very worried, and there we go, actually see them force retreat. Look very much like that Easy's basically just trying to bluff Warboss to fake him out. Scout car though so far is actually holding on quite nicely. I mean, in fact, seeing Easy perhaps worrying about something and actually getting minesweepers. That is definitely a good hallmark. Sometimes you shouldn't wait around to actually hit a mine to get a minesweeper. So that's definitely Easy there, being sensibly cautious. I like to see that. Of course, you also probably saw that up there. So of course, that's also another reason to do so. But even then, never a bad idea. Popping over to Easy though, who's gone conscript support, which of course also allows his conscript to repair, gives him rapid conscription, which has now gained increased duration, and actually gives you conscripts. And incendiary barrage. Scout car trying to get behind it. Bear 22 for the scout car. That's bloody well close. It's close, in fact, collapsing on its own. And there we go. Oh, combat engineers got wiped out. The German scout car is still standing, but that's barely. Submachine guns being handed out in large numbers to the warriors of the arena. Panzer Grenadiers will need to move up swiftly and deftly. And actually all of these troops are climbed up. A bun grenade could prove to have disastrous consequences. Oh my gosh! Entire squad actually ended up getting wiped out. And just look at all of them trying to crawl away. But they cannot escape the cold steel of the Reich.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
Su-85 arriving. Can this be the turnaround for EC? Can this supposedly overpowered unit save him, or will Warboss overcome with his faith in the Reich? More telemines. I'm rather liking that. He's actually been quite consistent with mining. And there we go, rapid conscription is up. You could actually stand to use it a bit. Just need to time it correctly, and he could certainly find himself replenished in forces to fight against the fascist foe. More submachine guns, and there we go, the Su-85 arriving. One of many tank destroyers used by the Soviet Union, which rather follow the German principle when it comes to them, which is basically, you know, no turrets, whereas the Americans, British rather favoured something with a turret. Otherwise, the Soviets were actually rather close in doctrine to American doctrine when it overall came to armor and how to use it. But rather when it came to how tank destroyers should actually be, they rather differed a bit. Which is something I always found interesting. Panzer Grenadiers versus conscripts. Su-85 quickly rolling in. And of course, conscripts less powerful now due to the fact that Hit the Dirt has been nerfed a bit.
Ready.
Your orders, comrade.
Easy would probably find himself with an easier time if he actually mined a bit. I mean, he's got plenty of munitions, so he should probably use it. And again, rapid conscription, comrades. Do not worry about the replacements the motherland provides. In some way. We do not dare ask Comrade Stalin how.
Assault gun ready for action.
Oh, hang on.
We have a new
And there we go, finally being able to clear at least one of the mines. Things slowing down a bit, support armor company going up.
fresh meat has arrived.
And looks like a Panzerabwehrkanone has arrived.
You need something built?
The Germans actually also used some Italian scout cars, in particular after they took over Italy, since they were actually quite fond of them. The Italian scout cars were actually quite interesting in the fact that they were one of the few which actually had a driver spot in the front and the rear, so could also quickly get out of there. Which I think is usually a joke reserved for the French, but the Italians were actually the one with it. It was actually quite an effective scout car. Fun fact. One of the few things the Italians actually knew how to make, that and assault guns. They also made some pretty impressive ones there. Panzers they're pushing out, some holding out the building. Snipers need to be careful though. There are many things, but bulletproof is not one of them. Oh, mine went off there. Lucky though, they didn't kill anyone except Friedrich, who rather tragically got blown to bits. Panzer is trying to hunt down the elusive snipers, and instead decide to do something more likely to result in their survival, and that which is retreat. Scout car here needs to be careful. It's better than 2, so the Su-85 is going to have a bit of a harder time dealing with it, but still, that's no reason to get yourself killed. plenty of munitions for it. Come on, rapid conscription, comrade.
We are taking fire!
More telemines, really taking no chances there. He's quite worried that something will rush and actually cause him some problems. And again, I like his consistent use of mines. Though I think he could also be a bit more consistent actually upgrading his grenadiers with machine guns and the likes. That's one thing I'm actually missing. That is some upgrades for his infanterie.
Rifleman ready.
Getting a second sniper team looks like Easy's getting a bit pressured by this and feels that the best approach is to get snipers. Also looks like he's saving up resources for another Su-85 or perhaps a Katyusha. Otherwise, I mean, Su-76s could provide some overall artillery to basically bombard Warboss with, which I think could also work out nicely, and in conjunction with the Su-85 could also work towards armour. And there you go, Panzerkampfwagen 4 has been attached from a nearby Panzer division to provide support, and that was again not uncommon to see a platoon or a company detached here and there to prop up parts of an infantry division which were in trouble. Strafing runs arriving. Strafing run, of course, has also been deeply nerfed, does lots less damage, also longer bouts, so it doesn't quite hit as often. And I believe it's also meant to actually make it easier to shoot down for enemy anti-aircraft units.
The enemy still has 300 points.
The enemy still has 300 points. Points being secured, yes. Broader advance now. Warboss needs to be careful he doesn't get too greedy, because he can then risk exposing a flank and Easy just charging in. And an Opel Blitz, which of course is now more expensive. 300 manpower to 200. Also overall doesn't care what point it is on, it gives the same resource amount.
Engineers ready. We have it.
A sniper getting out there. We are seeing a second Su-85.
Supplies to the enemy.
There are no cowards here.
The enemy is taking
Panzer IV opening up. And of course now has increased scatter, so it's less effective against infantry overall. And of course there's probably going to be a reason why I want to get the machine gun, because then these are going to have a better chance of killing it. Quickly dashing away. Probably aware that there's an Su-85, and he doesn't want to get hit by the anti-tank grenade, because if he does, he's definitely going to be an easy target. So sensibly played right there by Warboss, as the Su-85s creep up
We are bleeding.
like a pair of stalkers, infatuated with some unfortunate lady.
Waiting for your command.
We have identity.
Panzer IV going to try and get out there. Snipers opening up, getting one. No, actually didn't get anyone. And constantly being aware, of course, cautious. Doesn't want to get anti-tank grenade. There goes. 85 moves in. The Hunter's in. Oh, actually got off a nice hit there. I mean, he still has the splash damage, but it's less likely to get something off with it. And there we go. Not good, not good. He should have gone towards back, but instead now got caught out in the open. Su-85s are arriving. This is a bad position for Warboss's Panzerkampfwagen. Also, the Opel Blitz has not been deployed yet. And there we go. Panzer IV is lost. Scout car rushes in. Panzer is in trouble.
Yes, comrade.
Panzer Grenadiers are under intense fire. Oh dear, he's going to lose a squad of Panzer Grenadiers. Ach du lieber Warboss. That was a bit silly. But using this opportunity to actually push up the south, that is good. I still think he should make a solid push under the aegis of rapid conscription, so that way perhaps get some larger forces back.
Squad replenished.
I mean, you know, why go for conscript support if you're not going to get the full benefits of it, which also include rapid conscription? It's there for a reason.
Your orders, comrade.
To get more guys and get them submachine guns.
Engineers attack with enemy infantry.
I do believe it's time for the mid-game analysis. Current situation is that the 13th Rifle Division has been pushed back hard, despite the presence of two Su-85s, several snipers and whatnot. I do feel that, again, EC should get more out of his stock, and again, use rapid conscription under the right circumstances. I mean, he's got that much infantry. I mean, if he launches a full assault, he can absorb some of those losses, that is, mitigate them, and of course get some of them back, so overall he'll get a larger unit count for less money. Well, less manpower, which would definitely be what he wants. That way he can actually begin pressuring more places once again, being less concerned about losses, at least for a brief period of. So that's definitely something that needs to be worked on. I mean, he needs more units overall. He needs more to actually apply some pressure. He should either do that or perhaps consider getting some penal troops, perhaps a flamethrower, and that way apply pressure, or some artillery in the form of an SJ-76 or Katyusha, or finally getting a weapon support company, get up some field guns and mortars, machine guns. Either way, he needs something extra. He can't just work with this. And of course he needs to keep pressuring up. Now the north in fact looks vulnerable, so he should definitely try and exploit that if he's aware. And of course keep pressuring in the south. For Warboss, it's about trying to keep as much as he can without losing too many units. And of course he needs to deal with those two SU-85s, which means actually building up a force. I would recommend perhaps a few Stugs to do that, or perhaps some Panzer force. Of course that's going to be more expensive. In that case, you should probably try and support it with a pack or Panzerfaust to try and limit as much the mobility of the Su-85. So that's actually one of their strongest advantages. So of course, Panzerfausting with something could, prove to be quite handy. But he should also be willing to, in some cases, give ground. He shouldn't try, sacrifice units too much for the ground he's currently holding. I mean, that's not going to be worth it. In fact, could allow Easy to get back with quite a victory. And of course, I mean, we know he's gone for assault support, so definitely should also consider getting more out of it. That would mean, also using the officer. Perhaps a Tiger or some fragmentation bombing runs could definitely also benefit him. I'm actually curious to see how the Tiger is now, so of how much it's improved, but we'll of course have to see that. But either way, let's get back to the fight. Two Grenadier squads holding up the southwest. They could benefit with a light machine gun. Also looks like Easy's going to lose a combat engineer squad. Most silly. Still no rapid conscription, come on. Come on, Easy. For someone who claims it's easy, or is named Easy, you're not really doing it the easy way. Grenadiers running away from an angry horde of conscripts armed with submachine guns. Snipers doing what they can up north. Veterans too, by the way, which increases their rate of fire, which definitely makes them much more lethal. A quick response from the Luftwaffe. And there we go, pinning them, but also note, barely damaging them. Barely damaging them. I mean, that's the difference. I mean, it still can do some damage, but it's considerably less. And now it's mostly about pinning the bastards. Which, of course, has its advantages. And, of course, it's not completely useless and can still be used to turn a fight to your advantage. So that, of course, is something to remember. And a Katyusha is in fact on the way. Oh dear, he lost his veteran into cyber squad. He lost it. And Warboss here once more sending off a Panzer on its own. I'm not a huge fan of that, although we note here that Easy has not been repairing its Su-85. That's actually pretty bad, in particular since we just done it with some conscripts. That's a bit of a blunder right there by Easy. Bit of a blunder. And beyond fact, seeing here that Warboss takes advantage of it, grasps the opportunity with both hands and a greedy grin. But a bit disappointed and Easy, a bit disappointed. Time to pop back to Warboss though. Getting himself a second Panzer IV. Still no artillery field officer. He's definitely not got the resources for a Tiger tank.
Stuka ready to strafe enemy troops. Standing by. Not let up. The enemy still has 300 points.
And there we go, another anti-tank grenade, and getting flanked here by the Su-85. Trying its best to stay out of the range. But too late, too little. Panzer IV is another combat loss. And there we go, Veteran Fleet on the scout car, giving it increased damage with its machine gun. That's actually going to be a very unpleasant surprise for Easy's infantry. We're just seeing the entire central road here being churned up. And another run of the Stuka. And pushing up the center here, nothing to really threaten them from the Soviet side, though. Still a lack of mines from EC. I really would have loved to see. I mean, he's spending so much munitions, yet not really doing anything with it, which is definitely a shame and definitely actually hobbling him. At least I think so. Panzer IV going to see if he can't move in, and he's still... Well, he tried to repair, but not really fully. And now he's going to lose that H-85 if he's not careful. In fact, he's not even moving it. Why are you not pulling back, EC? You've got the ability to move up fast. In fact, he's allowing his... And Warboss is allowing his Panzer IV to get grenaded. This is rather bad news. We could actually see EC take out the Panzer IV. No! Grenadiers to the rescue. Panzer Fausting it. That was bloody well close. Bloody well close. If only there had been something like an SU-76 nearby to support instead of a Katyusha, but alas. Panzerkampfwagen 4 in dire straits. Forced to retreat. Another squad of Panzer Grenadiers arriving. And a considerable load of rockets. And that Panzer IV could go down if one Katyusha rocket actually strikes. Looks like that is one very, very lucky Panzer IV crew. Although the conscripts here might change on that.
We have been assigned fresh Panzer Grenadiers.
And there we go, another Panzer IV lost.
One of our panzers has been destroyed.
Easy though is rather on the back foot. Scout car going to move in for the snipers. That could prove very unfortunate for them, in particular since again it now has a damage bonus. And already there, one burst down to half health, one sniper dead. Oh, conscripts moving in. Even doing a bit of damage to the Katyusha, and there we go, grenade connects, damaging the scout car, but Veteran C2 does help a bit. Quiet. A fresh Panzer IV. He really likes his Panzer IVs.
Increase. The enemy is taking our territory.
You're being fired upon!
Our machine
Two Grenadier escorts in the centre. Versus one conscript escort in heavy cover with submachine guns. How shall this go? Oh, never mind. Strafing run. No, didn't quite have as much luck, and of course another H-85. Easy, certainly fond of those, but never quite succeeds in getting out as much of them as he can, I feel.
Fucking Ivan never quits! Taking losses! HMG here.
And another swift strafing run.
enemy forces are securing our territory. Panzer IV.
Counter-attack in progress. Warboss sending a Panzer IV in support with infantry. That is good. H-85 moving up. Conscripts moving up. Katyusha ready to provide supporting fire as well by the looks of it.
Panzer IV. Enemy squad is trying to engage.
And there we go, conscripts rushing in after that Panzer IV. Incendiary barrels going down straight on the Grenadiers. And veterancy free for the conscripts.
This is ours!
Grenadiers though continue to press forward despite the danger. And there's nothing else really nearby to support it.
We are losing the sector.
Katyusha though not really having a lot of luck.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
So much blood!
Squad under attack!
You found something?
A bit of quiet. Both sides' armor is a bit crippled.
Ready for orders.
But we do know that Warboss has the bigger force.
The enemy is down to 200.
And a second Panzer IV on the way.
Pioneers have been
Veterans of free conscripts trying to hunt down the scout car, but the scout car makes us escape for the time being anyways.
Grid point 776 is taken. Yeah.
Lots of barrages.
Enemy infantry has made contact! Grenadiers ready!
Scout car waiting orders. Ivan! That's everyone! Grenadiers ready! We have a new Panzer IV.
Quick bundle grenade.
That doesn't kill you!
Ooh, we could see a conscript squad going down.
Standing by!
That's bad indeed. And Veterans of free, and there we go. Fresh conscript squad. Freshly equipped with submachine guns versus a Veterans of free Panzer Grenadier squad. I mean, it's going to be pretty clear who's going to win that one. Hands down, and the conscripts are just massacred.
Retreat! We got it!
Stood absolutely no chance against such veteran troops of the Reich.
MG-42 turret is ready. Panzer IV ready.
The only Soviet troops I'm pretty sure they could have set a chance against Veterans of free Panzer Grenadiers on their own. Without any Veterans, would have been shock troops. Oh, building collapse with the MG crew in it. We are seeing that Warboss is building up an armoured fist. We're seeing additional snipers out from Easy. I'm not entirely sure that's what he needs.
Sector. German territory increases.
Schützen here!
And time to pop back at Easy. We've only got the fuel close room for an SU-85 more.
100 points. Do not let this trend continue.
Brutal engagement down south here. Lots of Panzers, lots of conscripts, lots of bundles of grenade, lots of death, lots of bits of Russians everywhere.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
And looks like we are going to see the last engagement up north.
Tank destroyer here.
Easy can't really hold on much longer.
The sector has been cut off.
Contact!
You are showing weakness. We are down to 75 points.
And there we go, SU-85 coming under fire from the pack, forcing it to pull back. The sniper's nearby, but he's not really looking good either. Conscript doing what they can. There we go, the Panzer force rushing in. One taking the far path, the other one taking up the frontal one. Going to flank it, and there we go, Panzer Faust damaging the engine block. And moving in, and there we go, game over. Easy having realised his loss, makes a run for it. Victory for Warboss and the Reich. A bit of a brutal fight, although not the longest one, certainly not the most intense one, but still had some good things to point out. Really nice mining from Warboss, and certainly partly, I think the real difference between them was how they used the doctrine and the munitions. I mean, overall, Warboss just did more with it. Certainly didn't get might actually kill anything but his own men due to other things, but still it was good. He did it. He actually used his doctrinal abilities, and certainly in that part, EC could have done more. He should have chosen a different doctrine. But really, he didn't really do much except some machine guns, a bit of hit the dirt, a bit of repairs, but no for some really rapid conscription usage, which I think really could have benefited him. And he also could have done with a bit more extended use of his buildings. Perhaps some additional scout cast later on, perhaps penal troops, or perhaps some SU-76s for a bit more volume in fire. And that way, he was lacking something a bit, and he was making it too easy for Warboss to basically gain local superiority and beat the snot out of him, particularly because he wasn't taking good care of his SU-85. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned a thing or two from it. If you did, why not subscribe to your friends. If you didn't, well, why not to the replay of your own. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.